Okay, wow. Welcome, Joan. I'm Alex Moran. I'm so excited to be here with Joan, the dancing goddess, who has created this amazing dance magic course for all of us. Joan, tell us a little bit about this course, why you created it, and what's the magic in it.
Okay, yeah,
Good question.
I really, that's a loaded question. I created this course because when I dance, I really feel this connection with the divine feminine and with goddesses. And as I'm dancing, I literally feel like you're speaking the language of the divine feminine, of the goddesses. And it's this really, it is very intimate. And it's a very intimate connection that you have with yourself and with the divine feminine that is rarely touched. It's rarely it rarely gets practiced. And so I wanted to create this course to allow women to touch this part of their femininity, of the divine feminine, of the goddess within. And so that's how this course came along, and that's why I created it.
I really love that because when you think about dance, right? When we're kids, we dance all the time out in the open in daylight. It's no big deal. But then as we get older, dance kind of gets narrowed into clubbing, right? Or
Yeah,
ballroom dancing. It kind of
yeah.
gets this weird, it's either for performance or
Mhm.
just total inebriation under dark lights. Nobody can see you, and then you can get into
Yes.
the mood and everything. And we've really lost touch with this idea of dance being a connection to our inner self. So I love what you're saying about how dance can be used to connect to that divine feminine self.
Absolutely. And also as in my dance journey, and lately, I've heard a lot of women say, use your voice, use your throat chakra. And I realized that our whole body, all of our cells, all of our DNA have a throat chakra. And so this is a way for those cells to be in full expression. So your whole body as being a throat chakra and showing and expressing. I just got chills when
I
I
did
say that.
too. I
Just
did
by
too.
expressing that is just another tool. It's like a ninja throat chakra for your whole body is how I like to express it. And it's dying to be connected, and it's yearning so much to be expressed and exposed.
So true. Yeah, I was getting chills as you were saying that too, because I think it's true. And I think that's why dance can kind of feel scary when it's out in the open. There's that saying, dance like nobody's watching. We have this
Yeah.
collective idea that dance is something to kind of hide away or be shameful of, or to not,
Mhm.
not express yourself that way. It's it's childish, or it's just too out there, or you're a lunatic. You're the crazy woman dancing in the street, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But it's really a spiritual tool. That's amazing.
It is such a spiritual tool. I like you said, as little girls, you love to dance, and you're wild and out there, and you don't care who's watching. And then all of a sudden, as you get older, you kind of separate the dance with the intention, and then you see it as being maybe too provocative. As in my experience, people told me I was too provocative when I was dancing. I was getting too much attention. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, I don't want to do it anymore, because if that's how the world is going to look at me. But then I discovered a whole new connection, a whole new meaning, a whole new, just an intimate relationship with it. And it ends up being extremely magical.
So have you always been a dancer, or what's your personal dance journey?
Okay, so it's really funny. As a little girl, I love dancing. But growing up, my parents were very limited on time and resources and money, and they weren't really into the dancing thing because, again, it was very stereotypical. If you were a dancer, then you weren't very smart, or there was some other connotation attached to it, and so they didn't really encourage it. So I ended up being very athletic when I was a little girl, and throughout high school and college, I was in sports. So very like masculine, right? And then when I went off to college, I was like, this is my chance to dance, because nobody's going to stop me. And so I danced through college. I took all these courses whenever I could. I ended up dancing professionally. I worked really hard to do the formation of dancing, like taking the ballet and jazz. My whole story is in the course. But I ended up dancing professionally throughout college, after college, and then I totally lost it after I had kids. And that's when I was like, that's when I got the whole people judging me. I'm like, you shouldn't be dancing. You've got kids now, and you shouldn't want all this attention. And after kids, I started dancing again. And then I just started to build this new intimate relationship with it.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love that journey. It's so powerful. And like, as you're saying this, like, I love dancing as well. Like, I'm the first one when I was in my clubbing days to go out, hit the dance floor, like have a couple drinks and just let that whole like wall against dancing like come off. But like, as you talk about like dance and connecting with the feminine, and I've spent so much of my life connecting with the feminine, I can even feel myself sort of cringe right now of like, oh, there's like things in there that like, I don't know if I want to come out through dance. What would you say to people who are like kind of feeling like dance is kind of scary? It's kind of, it's intense, right? To
Yes.
really start doing that.
Absolutely. And I think this is why when it's that intense, you kind of know, you have this inkling, like it has to be extremely powerful. And when people say that, I mean, my advice to them is close your door, like don't let anyone see you, turn on some music, close your eyes, right? And go for it. And if that still feels really scary, my favorite place to dance is in the shower, where no one is, nobody is there, and the water just feels so good on you, and you feel really secure in the shower. So go in the shower and start just moving and flowing, put on some music. So, and also I just feel like for those people who are kind of scared to come out, and just remind you, like, you're not going to look like me when I dance. I'm not going to look like somebody else when they dance. Right. So it's your own magic. It's kind of like when I first started getting into a deep dive into my intuitive powers and, spiritual gifts. Like, I was scared, but I was like, this really has to be extremely powerful. So to just really go inside and connect, and to just trust and give it a try.
And there's something to be said about like, if it is scary, like to find that courage, right? Like, it's like that face
Yeah.
of your fear. Cause like a big part of me, I'm like, ooh, but when you said the shower, I was like, I love that with the shower.
Yes.
You're already kind of sensual anyway, right? Cause you're naked, you're exposed, you're vulnerable,
Yes.
you feel safe cause you're enclosed, right?
Yes.
Like, I love that idea. That's great.
And then tune into like, or put on a song that you really love. Any song that you just really feel confident about, like start there, because that's where you feel safe and secure and confident.
So what happens if like I personally, I like dancing and I feel like I am a good dancer, but what if somebody wants to take this course, but they just kind of are like, I am so awkward. I don't know how to dance. I don't feel good in my body. What do I do? Like, is this a course for me, or like, what should I do with that?
Absolutely. I think if you consider yourself a bad dancer, or if you just don't think you can do it, this course, I take each module is very broken down to the T, right? So it is, and since it's a recorded course, you can go at your own pace. You can pause the video, and then you can also slow it down. So that's why I love this recorded course, because it's not like you're in a dance studio where you go in, there's a ton of people, the instructor is just going off and teaching, and there's different learning levels, but here it's like you learn at your own pace. And I really break down each step. And in my dance journey, I didn't start dancing until I was like 20. So that's like extremely late for people who want to get into the dance industry, right? Who've been dancing since they were like freaking 3. And so I know what that feels like to go into a dance class and be like, oh shit. And I know what it feels like to be like, hey, I don't like how that person taught it so fast and so quickly. But in my modules, I break it down. You have time, right? And I think that's what another reason why people think they're bad dancers, because they don't think they have time to really immerse themselves. They think it's like you got to do this really quickly, or you have to go at the pace of other people, right? So give yourself time, because that's how I had to learn. And when I wanted to go professional, when I started to audition for teams and look at how I could dance professionally, you know, my mentors and coaches and the people who are auditioning for, they're like, hey, you have to go back and take ballet classes. You have to go back and take jazz classes. So for me, I had to go back and I had to take that time to be like, okay, this is how it's going to be, and this is how I have to learn. And I had to do it extremely slowly, because I had like 18 years of catching up to do, right? So for those people who think they're bad dancers, I want to allow yourself to give yourself some time and slow down the videos if you need to. And it's super basic, like super basic.
I love that. So walk us through the modules, because you keep referencing the modules in the course. What are the modules?
Sure. So the first module is called the Enchantress Dance.
Ooh.
And think of it exactly. And just like when you first walk as a baby, right? That's like the first step is this walk, because when you walk in an enchantress intention behind it, it's just extremely powerful. So the enchantress walk is kind of like the supermodel walk, but it's 10 times powerful, because we're walking in unison with the goddesses, and it's the intention behind it. And I tell you and that is the first, so that's the first module, is the Enchantress walk. And I break it down to the T, to where your feet need to be, to how you should be feeling. And then also there's all these kinds of things. And I also go through the things that might come up, like you might feel self-doubt. You might question yourself. And I go through that, actually, I go through that in the module and what you need to do.
I'm so happy, because I was like, I'm sure that there's going to be so much stuff that comes up for me as I go through this course. Like, what do I do with that? And I'm so glad that you addressed that. And that makes me feel really supported.
Totally. And then the second module is called Hypnotic Hips. And of course, the first module is Enchantress. Like, it's very magnetizing. And then the second module is called Hypnotic Hips, where we move our bottom 3 chakras. And this is where, if you're not moving this area, if you're not feeling connected, you feel invalidation, insecure, right? And so when we move our hips, and this is also your cauldron of creation, you know, your womb space. So we're really nurturing that area, and we're really flowing and moving with the music, and really flowing and deep connection with your, with your creative center. So Hypnotic Hips, and it's also a very enchanting dance as well. And the third module is Queen Crown Activation, and removing our crown chakra, our third eye, really activating. Whenever I move my head in any of my dances, I want to say maybe 30 minutes to an hour later, I start getting to these really deep connected messages from the divine, and you really create a channel of, it's a bridge, like a bridge into different realms. So it's super powerful when we move our head. And I love doing head rolls and hair whips and hair flips. So if you're into that, this is a perfect module for you.
I am at the club. I don't think I've ever done like a hair whip, like
the full-blown hair whip is like the lioness, like just whoosh, right? Oh, beautiful. It's so beautiful. And then the fourth module is called floor twerk. And we're basically dancing on the floor. So it's very grounding. And I also connect to a very crone energy here because we're very grounded and we're on the floor, and it reminds me of a wise woman, and she's very connected to her spirit animals. And so this also really activates like your spirit animal guides. And so it really gets you connected, and it's so much fun. And
That's what I was gonna say. It just feels like fun. Like it helps, like dance can kind of feel so serious, like you got to get it right, you have to have the right steps. But like the way that you're describing this course and these different modules, it sounds like a really fun experience, which is why I'm like, I'm all about fun. I want to do it so badly.
Totally. And there is a little bit of choreography in it, just so that, okay, this is what this is a framework of what it could look like. And so there is a bit of, and it's not hard though. Like I really break everything down. And once you kind of get these basic steps down, then you can create your own. You start to validate your steps, you start to validate your dancing, and then you feel confident to add your own things, or add your own feel, or add your own energy, or add your own creation. And that's what makes it so magical, and that's what makes it just really powerful.
Well, and like you said, you can go at your own pace. It's not like
Yes,
a dance class,
exactly.
which every time I've ever taken a dance class, I go in and I'm like deer in headlights. Like I'm just, and then I have so much like shame and invalidation of like, why did I come here and put myself through this,
Oh gosh, yes, I feel the same.
Oh my God, I'm really excited. Okay, so where can people find this course, and how much is it? And yeah, like what kind of support can they expect from you throughout the course?
Absolutely. Yeah, so you can find this course in the Witch and Womb portal, and it's $49. And you can have access to me. I'm on the portal as well, so you can always contact me on there for questions, for guidance. I even in the course, I even encourage you, if you feel like you want to send me a video, because when you start dancing, you start to be like, I want someone to look at me, right? That's what I feel like. I feel like if I'm going to dance in the, that's why at the club, I hate dancing. Sometimes I hate dancing at the club because no one's looking at me. And I'm like, damn it, someone look at me. So I encourage you, if you feel like, hey, you want to record yourself dancing and send it to me, I'm so open. If you need to be witnessed, if you need to release something and someone needs to witness you, I am there in the portal, and I'm here to support you.
Oh, I love that. Wow. I am
Yeah.
so excited. So it's available now, right?
It's available now. Yes.
And
yes,
buy
yes.
it. And how long do you suggest taking each module? Like, is it something that I can do in a week? Is it something I do in 6 months?
I would take at least a week to 2 weeks to do the course. I would suggest to do each module, take 2 days for each module, just so that you can really feel the embodiment of it and the messaging that comes along with it, because you'll start dancing and you'll start releasing and feel very liberated, and you'll start to have all these connected feelings to the divine. And I really want you to just like marinate in that for a little bit before you go on to the next course.
I love that. I just had another question about music. What kind of music do we use? Your music? Do we need to find music? How do we, because I can't dance without music.
Okay, so I have the music in the modules, and I will actually put the links of the songs that I actually used. It's very basic. I use one song for each module, and I will also put the link to the actual songs that I put on there. So there is like there's drumming. There's in the hips workshop. There's drumming. I think in the Queen Crown activation, there's an upbeat song in there. I use some old school jazz. Once you kind of get the framework, and when you start to get really confident, then of course use your own music that you feel connected to.
Awesome. Oh my God, I am so excited. So I will be starting this course today. I have some time tonight, so I'm like really excited to start this. And I hope that if you're watching this and you feel called to this amazing experience, please join our sisterhood portal. If you're already part of our sisterhood, just go into courses and you'll see it's called Divine Dance Magic. And if you have any questions for either Joan or I about how the portal works or how the workshop is, please reach out to us. And I don't know, I really hope that a lot of people take this, because I kind of see in our future like a flash mob quarantine dance happening.
Yes. I totally see that too. I definitely like see a dance circle coming up very quickly.
Oh my God, that gave me chills. I think that would be amazing.
Yeah.
So cool. Oh, well, thank you so much, Joan, for creating this and then coming on and talking to us about it. I'm really excited and I can't wait to get started tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Mwah. All right, everybody, go to the portal and buy this course now. All right, bye.
Bye.